Oh, here's a hard one that I don't think we can answer. Again, we're a publisher, not the developer, so a lot of the dev details we're not really part of. We pass information, but I don't shy away from anything. It's going to take me a while to read. Hold on. Was the prospect of predictive netcode being added to TERA ever passed by the developers? We all know that was the main reason why banning TERA Proxy was such a controversial topic, since certain modules enabled the game to be playable for people with high ping. So one thing I want to address there, the way that you're stating it, maybe I'm misreading it, but we all know the main reason for banning TERA Proxy was such a controversial topic since modules enabled. The issue with TERA Proxy is when we would look at our arbiter, it would be taking a beating. It was just getting relentlessly hammered, and we had service issues. And when we tracked things down, what we saw was there was significant packet injection from time to time, and some of that we felt could be attributed to the use of various TERA Proxy modules. So there, if we're trying to make an argument like there's some positives from TERA Proxy, how many positives do you get if somebody can literally crash the service at any time? So that's a difficult one. TERA Proxy is a difficult one. The conversation about making that communication better, having more predictive netcode, I don't know if we really ever dug in that with the developer. Did we? Did you have conversations about the coding, the tech side of it?
No, and in fact, I think that this was an area where like certain community members actually had more knowledge of how the game worked in a technical capacity than we did. Than I did, let's say. I'm sure there were people in the company that understood. I mean, we always pushed for the game to be better, and that included, network performance. And our operations team was always fighting those fights. And I think they had some success in certain regards, but yeah, this one's a little bit outside my my realm.
Yeah, I say it all the time, and Denommenator kind of said it a little bit, but not the way I do. We've never sat in a room and heard somebody say, I have a really bad idea, let's screw the game up and do the worst possible idiotic thing, or hey, here's the system that's broke, but I don't really care, let's leave it broke. No one has ever had that conversation. Everyone has always been passionate about the game, the community, everything. We always want to make it better, but not everyone is in a position to do that. As a product manager, I don't have conversations with the developer about their code. Not once. It's not part of what I do. I have conversations about the promotion, the communication, the customer support, the payment, the services that we provide as a publisher. That's our expertise. That's why a developer comes to a publisher. The developer doesn't come to a publisher and say, hey, we want you to tell us how bad our netcode is. That's never a conversation I'm going to have. They're coming to me and they're saying, I have no idea how to do socials. What would you tweet? How do you do an email campaign, which is something Denommenator really revolutionized and created the pattern, the template for what I learned off of. I don't want to just blindly send an email. I don't want to send an email that's confusing. I want to send a clear call to action for the player. I have a reason to send you this email. I have something I want you to do. This is a benefit for you. There's a way you do those. There's a way to make those strategies more effective that the developer doesn't spend time developing, because that's not what they do. Just like as a publisher, I don't spend time trying to fix netcode in a game. So it's more on us as a publisher to share the details of the issue, show them our logs, show them all the information they need, communicate with them what the issue is. But once it gets beyond that point, there's little to nothing we do as a publisher, unless we want to straight out buy that studio and then create our own development team or something.
Well, there's a piece of it that isn't in our control, right? And that is like where the servers are housed, and the hardware they run on, or the game runs on. But how the game handles, latency and packet transmission, that's a little bit outside of our, we can certainly push for improvements in that regard, but that's not, we don't have the source code,
Yeah, that's all straight up encrypted. Not reading that.